This will be the last question.
Hello, Mr. Charlie Kirk. So I have a question about Christianity and with all of the language in the Bible about supporting the foreigner and supporting the poor.
Yep.
And all of that has come out of, let's say, the social gospel and things like that. Why is it not reasonable for Christians to end up with left-leaning politics or liberal politics or progressive politics?
Well, because the Bible equally, if not more, talks about order and structure and borders. The entire book of Nehemiah is around building the wall. And 1 Corinthians says that God is a God of order. And understand that, is it telling the state to do that or the person to do that? We should all care for the poor personally, individually, and through our churches. Is it the role of the state? That is to be debated. Equally, if you're on the left, you're also denying God's design of male and female, God's design of where life is created at conception. You're also at war with this idea of the proper role of the state. And let's just say this, the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen and the smaller the church. We see this in Europe. As government gets bigger, the church gets smaller. And so while I'm not going to say that there's the misunderstanding of Scripture is that government is here to save you. We believe that God is here to save you. We believe government should be small but strong to do moral and righteous and good things while we're here on this earth for God's purposes. But we want the church to be big and the government to be small. Final thought. This is the last question of the tour, by the way.
But do we want the government to partake in the things that the church is influencing in society, right? Like, we want our government right now, like, to protect liberty, freedom, things that we think come from the Bible.
Those are proper roles of government.
We don't think that the government should also be a part of the well-being of society in a way that...
A, it doesn't do a good job of it. B, it's not a good scope of it. For example, the states with the biggest government have the most homeless and the most suffering. California has more money than knows what to do with, tens of billions of dollars. You've got more homeless than any other state, more wealth inequality. Just because government is big under the auspice of helping people doesn't mean people are actually helped. If you cared about your neighbor and cared about the poor, you would cut government programs and give them jobs and actually have them go to church and do the social welfare through churches and through charities, not through government.
Okay, I agree with you there. So then you would completely disavow liberation theology.
Absolutely. Liberation theology is garbage. Absolutely.
It's rooted in Marxism.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Okay,
and I'm not a Catholic either, so I mean, yeah.
Same. So then the other point that I have that I disagree
Last
with you
point,
on,
we gotta go.
really disagree with you on the mass incarceration piece, right? Blacks, we do more crime, and I like to say Negroes. I like to say Negroes because black is too expensive.
I wouldn't say that, but you could say that.
It's too expensive because you got Africans, you got all different type of. But here's the thing, though. The reality is that mass incarceration came from a place of, like, this hard stance on crime and the war on drugs, which you would argue. Well, you would arguably you should argue that, like, even Donald Trump and his administration saw something about that as he passed the First Step Act, right? The reality is that not everybody who's incarcerated deserves to be incarcerated. We do incarcerate people more harshly. We do have old people in prison. There's a lot of.
We should have longer prison sentences. I mean, the average rapist only serves 4 years in